Hi everyone, today we're going to work on writing two-step equations similar to what we did on Monday, and this will just give us another go around at it before we go back to solving other equations. So with this video you should be taking notes while you're going, and I'm going to check those on Monday to make sure you did do that, and make sure you can pause the video at any time and go back and re-watch anything. So let's get started. To decode our phrases, we are looking for those words that we took notes on Monday. So if you want to get those out, you can take a look at those words that we're looking for. All the words for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, parentheses, equal sign. Right now I've got a couple things underlined. So it says Eric scored 13 points more than twice the lowest score of the science test. He scored 87 points. What is the lowest score? What we're trying to do is figure out what we're trying to answer. Whatever we're trying to answer, that's going to be our variable. And you do need to define your variable. That means tell me what letter you're going to use. So I'm going to use the letter N. And that's going to be what we're trying to find, the lowest score on the test. So Eric himself, he scored 87 points. And this was 13 points more than. More than is one of those addition words. Then we've got twice, and of course twice means times 2. And the lowest score, we know what that is. Well, we really don't because that's our variable, but we can replace it with that variable. So to put everything all together, we've got 87 equals 13 more than twice the lowest score. And now that we've got our equation, we can go ahead and solve. Here is the term with the variable. So that means we need to kick out the constant term because our whole goal is to get the variable by itself. Right now 13 is being added and 13 is positive. So to undo a positive 13 and move it, we are going to subtract 13. This leaves us with 74, bring down the equal sign, positive 13, negative 13 cancel out, 2n. We still need to get the variable by itself, so we're looking to see what's happening to our variable, and right now the variable is being multiplied by 2, so to undo that, we want to divide by 2, and we have to do that to both sides. So that means 37 equals n, or n equals 37. That means the lowest score is 37. And let's hope that's not a percent. Alright, let's take a look at the next example. And remember, you can pause at any time if I'm going too fast, and you can re-watch. I see some similar vocabulary already. 5 more than twice some number is 19. Find the number. So, what we don't know is our number. So we're going to let n equal the number. It says find the number. And that's what we're trying to find. 5 can be replaced with the number. More than, it's one of those math words that means addition. Twice, we talked about that already. Times 2. 5 more than twice some number. Some number, that's our variable n. And what we are taking twice of is that number. So this is really 2 times n. And there's that word again, is. That word is a math word for equal sign. So let's give it a shot. 5 more than twice some number, so 2 times n, equals 19. Write our equation. Next step, solve the equation. Here's our term with our variable. We are adding 5 to that, so we need to kick that out. To undo adding 5, we're going to subtract 5 because subtraction undoes addition. 5's cancel off. We're left with 2n, bring down the equal sign, and 19 minus 5, different signs, so subtract, is 14. Again, 2 is being multiplied by n, and to undo multiplying by 2, we're going to divide by 2. So divided by 2, divided by 2, and n equals 7. And we can always double check that by plugging that back in. 5 more than 2 times 7, is that really 19? Well, 5 plus 14 is 19, so we've got the right answer. Example 3. Barb sold the family car for $200 more than half of the original price. If the car sold for $6,540, what is the original price? So, first step, define our variable. What is the thing that we don't know or trying to find? What we don't know is the original price. So I'm not going to use the letter O, and remember, anytime you can use a different letter, you don't have to pick what I pick. So let x equals the original price. And let's go ahead and start decoding. Some math words that we already see up here, more than, we've talked about that a lot today. Half, that's a new one. So let's take a look. More than implies addition. So we know part of our problem is going to have 200 plus. Half, the original price. That original price is our unknown, so that's our variable. And we're asked to take half of that. Half is one of those division words that means divide by 2, or it means multiplying by 1/2. However you'd like to write it, it is your call. So let's set this up. She sold the family car for $200 more than half the original. That means what she sold the car for is going to be equal to the $200 more than half the original price. $6,540 is going to equal 200 more than half the original price. The original price divided by 2. Next step, solve the equation. Here's the variable term. Here's the constant term. There's no letters here. We're going to kick it out. Right now we're adding 200. 200 is positive. So to undo 200, we're going to subtract 200. And we have to do that from both sides. And if you want to do your line, well, that kind of works, down your equal side to make sure you're doing it to both sides. That's super helpful for a lot of people. So we've got 6,340 equals x divided by 2. And let's think again. What's happening to our variable x? Well, x is currently being divided by 2. So to undo that, we're going to double it, multiply by 2. Remember, with your multiplication, you're showing that as 2 over 1. Show it in the numerator, not your denominator. The reason we're showing it in the numerator is so those cancel out. X is equal to $12,680. And it's money, so we're going to put a money sign in front of it. That's the original price of the car. All right, a couple more. Steve charges $6.50 per hour for babysitting plus $5 for gas. If Steve made $27.75 for one evening of babysitting, how many hours did he babysit? Why don't you pause right here and see if you can come up with this on your own. Go ahead and decode any of the ones that you have. So we can see we've got two math words that we've highlighted, and we've identified our unknown variable. So let's write that out. Let's let H equal the number of hours babysat. We've got the word per. Per means multiplication, and we've got plus for addition. So it's $6.50 per hour, and that's what we don't know. So we're going to take $6.50 and multiply it by H. Then we're going to add our $5 for gas, and that gets us our total of $27.75. So to solve, we're going to our variable by itself. We're going to subtract 5. Bring down our equal sign. We've got $22.75 left. And now we're going to divide by $6.50 to both sides to undo the multiplication and figure out how many hours we have left. So H equals 3.5 hours. Here's our last one. 4 less than 3 times a number is 17. Pause the video and identify any math words that you see on here. So we have a couple identified words. We have less than, which implies subtraction. And I've got an asterisk here. This doesn't stand for multiplication. We'll talk about that in a second. Times means to multiply. And then is equal. What we don't know is what the number is. So I'm going to let n equal the number. I've got an asterisk next to less than because less than is a turnaround word. And that turnaround word means whatever's in front and whatever's behind needs to get flip-flopped. So 3 times a number gets written first. So 3 times n less than is our subtraction, so minus, and then we get to write 4. We've got is our equal sign, and 17. And now we're back to problems that we've been solving all week. Here's our term with the variable. What's still on that side is that minus 4, so we need to kick that out. Instead of subtracting 4, we're going to add 4 to both sides. (3n) is going to equal 21. We need to get n by itself. These two right next to each other imply multiplication. So instead of multiplying by 3, to undo that, we need to divide by 3. And we're going to show that with that fraction bar again. 3 divided by 3 goes to 1, so I've got 1n equals 7. So 4 less than 3 times 7 is 17, and that checks out. You've got a worksheet for homework tonight. Please make sure that comes to school on Monday, and I'm going to be checking that as well as your notes from today. Have a great weekend, everyone.